Um, Hello, my name is Quartzi, and this is Project Splash. I'm not going to talk much about it just yet, at least in these devlogs. I won't, but this is me just setting up the project for starting on the project. I'm currently importing a bunch of assets such as Mirror, which is the multiplayer library that we're going to be using. A lot of the code that I'm currently throwing in is pre-written. Yes, I wrote that code though, so no worries. Well, I'm currently just, changing up some things because this is the code that I wrote is pretty old. Mirror has updated since then. A lot has actually changed when it comes to Mirror itself. I'm currently hiding. I was hiding the side of the editor actually because I was filling in the salt for the password encryption. Yes. Obviously, with the setup of the project, it is also quite important, at least for me, to do everything. Wow. To do everything now. For example, setting up the scene and also doing some of the graphic tweakings so the game is more or less ready to be tested. Let me talk a little bit more about the testing, right? So, Project Splash is what I call open development, which means the instance that testing can be done, which means a character is available to be moved around even in just a testing scene. I will give it out to people to play, which I will do on the Quartzified Studios itch.io page, which I will then also link in the bottom. But before that, I would say there's going to be at least 2 more of the devlogs available. So now I'm currently working on the UI, which is just going to be the basic login screen. I work very would you say systematical? I work in order. So what is the first thing that you usually do in an online game? For me, it would be creating an account. So that is what I'm doing right here. I'm also writing in the toggles because this is online. This is going to be an online game that you have to be at least the age of 13. And please do not forget to read the privacy policy. It is linked in the bottom left of the screen then. You will see that being added later on. Very simple username, email, password, and password confirm. Age toggle, and I have read the privacy. What information am I taking from you guys? What are the rules? That stuff. Obviously, I know most people don't actually read it, so that's completely fine. Now I'm gonna do some working on the code. I need to look back on the code because a lot of this code was weird, and I actually pasted the wrong code. I pasted the same code twice for the create and login. So I noticed that pretty late, around now, and then I went ahead and changed that. Well, now is the first test. The first test already shows that something went wrong, so I just continued working. Checked in through some of the multiplayer code, and now I did the first build. Now the first build is very important because I'm usually like, oh, okay, so this is gonna work perfectly, nothing's gonna go wrong. And during the build I was like, oh, I'm gonna just play some Osu. You can see some very laggy Osu gameplay right there that I immediately quit because it was lagging. And I looked at what the issue was, and the issue was that the library for SQLite did not convert or was not necessarily compatible with IL2CP. So I went and switched the build to mono. Oh no, wait, I did not switch it. No, I did switch it to mono in this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I immediately just switched it to mono. The build didn't take that long. I didn't notice, so I just continued playing. And then at one point I rage quit and went back, and there was an error in the database code that then I proceeded to fix, and I continued working. Now, what happens after you log in or you've created your account? I would call this being put into the lobby, which is your character select screen. So the first thing that you would see is a list of characters that you have available to you, which I'm now coding in to spawn in all the character objects, or at least the ones that are for your character. And then I as well noticed that the old database code was based on a 2D game that I was working on. So I changed it up and removed and added some necessary components, or values rather, to there. And then I also now started to link the privacy policy and the terms and conditions. I did both because I'd rather have both visible, very clearly visible, rather than just having the terms of conditions and you just getting sent to that page. So I recommend looking at both of them. I noticed that something's not working, and that was when there was an error in the database actually. There was a spelling mistake, and then it still didn't work. And then later on, I noticed it works now. I forgot to add the player to the network manager to spawn in. So it wasn't even able to create the player. This was my first break. I took a break and then I continued working again. I did some stuff off screen here. Mainly as you can see, as the test map. The test map is now actually, cleaner. We have a little scale going on for future testing, so I can actually test the controls and stuff. The controls are for now going to be really basic, so there's mainly sharp cliffs or slopes and some places to jump on for reach and distance. There are planned to be 4 classes which are based off of elements, so fire, water, earth, and air, and the 2 sides, the 2 factions being guardians and keepers. Yeah, so now I'm working on actually putting the code all together, adding the necessary stuff that is still missing. For example, the faction did not even exist, and as you can see there, it was really, really short. The tabs spawned in all correctly and had the information on them. Now I'm writing some little niche codes to make everything more easier for myself, so making lines shorter, like the is valid create. I was thinking of doing something here. I ended up not doing it. Most of the stuff is all hard coded in. For example, the buttons all use an integer value to determine what class you're picking. This screen is actually later on going to be a visualization of your character, which is going to be awesome. But this is it for the first log.